These are my final Premier League predictions. 20-1, getting this 100% right. This is it. It's locked in. And obviously it'll be a prediction of who gets in the top 4 and wins the Premier League title. Let's start off with 20th, Southampton, the easiest pick of them all. Ill-equipped to be in the Premier League. I think their owners were a little bit shocked of how quickly they got back up through the playoffs last season. I don't think they were expecting a bounce back. Russell Martin, I hope he gets them relegated and gets a big, lucrative move out of there. I'm not saying he deserves it, but Southampton will get relegated in my opinion. Wolves alongside them. I like Gary O'Neill. I think he was mugged off by Bournemouth. I still hold that opinion despite how well Areola's doing. But I just don't see it with Wolves conceding so many goals. They're not as dynamic as they were. Obviously, they're missing Neto massively. They're still scoring quite a few goals. One of the highest scorers in the bottom half of the table. I just think some of the sides around them are going to operate a little bit smoother, have a bit more money to spend. Palace, Everton, West Ham, even Ipswich, if you count them in your relegation picks, all have the ability in January, I think, to be a little bit more smart and calculated and get a player in they need to get them out of the relegation zone. Palace weren't in the relegation zone last season, but they got Adam Wharton out of Blackburn for 20-odd million quid. That was a great deal. Can Wolves do that? Will Wolves do that? That is the big debate, and I think they're going to get relegated because they just don't have enough quality throughout the side. They've been on the beach since basically this time last year, let's be completely real. Alongside them, Leicester City. I want Leicester City to stay in the Premier League. Yeah, I'm not a Leicester City fan, of course not, but I feel that Premier League champions like Leicester City with the story of Ranieri, they won the FA Cup a couple of years ago. They were in the Champions League. It's a sad story if they came up and got relegated again. It'd be a real sad story, and it kind of harks back to Leicester City from the early 2000s when they were that kind of championship yo-yo side a little bit. It'd be sad, in my opinion, because I think the owners have done a very, very good job. I like Steve Cooper. What Maresca did last season was fantastic with a relatively young side. I just don't see how they're going to get out of it. I see Jordan Ayew and I think you're bound to get relegated, aren't you? Bobby Reid. I mean, a few of these players, they felt a little bit cheap. With all due respect to Bobby Reid, who's fantastic, and so is Ayew on some level, it's not enough to get them out of it. I mean, Palace's side is definitely better when everyone's fully fit. They've got England internationals in that setup. Everton, West Ham, they've all got better quality in depth. And I think Leicester City could get relegated. It's a tough one. If they stay up, it'll be the thinnest survival ever. I think they'll do it by like 1 point, but I don't think they will stay up. I think they're going to get relegated. In 17th, we've got Crystal Palace. I think Oliver Glasner will go. I think some of his signings in the summer haven't quite worked out. Obviously, they're missing Elise massively, but the fact they've capitulated in so many games this season, you feel it can't be just the Elise missing factor, surely. Because they missed Zaha last season, the season before last, and they did okay. Well, they did incredible. They, in the turn of last year, they were unbelievable. So I think Palace have enough quality. I know Steve Parish will be very, very ruthless. He is a very, very shrewd owner. I think he's one of the best operators in the Premier League. Getting rid of Vieira was completely slagged off by many football fans, and it proved to be the right decision. And Roy Hodgson, for as old as he was, gave them a bit of a platform. He kept them in the league. Maybe they go back to Roy Hodgson again. That'd be crazy. But I think they'll just get rid of Glasner as soon as they can. If it doesn't work out, maybe he keeps them going and gets a few wins. I'm not pro sacking anyone, but all I'm saying is Palace will move a lot quicker, be a little bit more pragmatic, I think, than Wolves, and that could keep them in the league. Above them, Everton. They've just got so much quality in this side relative to all the sides around them. I think Everton being a big club does matter as well. The weight of a club can just keep you in the Premier League. The experience, obviously this club's never been relegated out of the Premier League, and I know we keep saying it every season, but I like Everton. I think they're doing all right. I think Sean Dyche he's the best manager equipped for this task of keeping Everton in the league every season, and I think eventually he'll get it right. I do think that in terms of getting them above a relegation fodder kind of side. I think they'll stay in the league. I think they'll be absolutely secure. Above them is West Ham United. I think Lopetegui will go. They'll get it right. They usually do, West Ham, and I think the quality, they've got so much quality. I mean, you're talking England internationals, Jarrod Bowen, Kilman, I think, has actually been good, even though they're struggling, West Ham, at the moment. I think it's just the wrong manager. And I think eventually they'll get the right guy in with the right energy, and he will take them right back into a big, big position. But it'll have to be next season, the season after. Does David Moyes come in and do an emergency rescue job? Who knows? If West Ham get relegated, I will leave football forever because they're just too good to get relegated. But they said that about them in 2001, didn't they? Above them, Bournemouth. These guys are riding on a wave. I don't know where the wave... Well, obviously they're in Bournemouth. They're by the coast. But Areola is a genius manager. Even that left-back, Kekes, who came in, 20-year-old kid, bombing down the wing. They're so progressive. They're so forward-thinking. They've almost improved since Solanke on some level. It feels like they're a bit more balanced. Semenyu's taken that kind of lead, and his quality as a forward, his balance, his ability to link up play. He's a smooth footballer, Semenyo, and he's keeping Bournemouth very, very competitive. Big wins against Arsenal and City. They'll be absolutely fine. Ipswich, I think they're going to stay in the league. Maybe it's a little bit high. I think they can move in January, get more talent in. I think they've got a very talented young side. They're all working hard. The eye test matters in football. I know they've been beat a few times. They started off their season against Man City away, Liverpool at home. I think in the middle part of the next few months, we're talking middle of December into January, they'll pick up a lot of wins. The Spurs one was massive. They were at Spurs. They are very, very fit. That they work hard. They're a side critically that believe they can stay in the league. And you look at Wolves sometimes, even Everton a few seasons ago when they went really close to getting relegated on the final day of the season. Decore kept them out final day. Throughout that season, you thought Everton don't believe they can stay in the league. I think Ipswich believe, and that's down to Kieran McKenna, who's a genius manager, in my opinion, for that level. Brentford above them, and Mbuemo's going to score goals. They're well set up. It's simple, and it surprises people every season. But Thomas Frank is, again, one of the best managers. This league has got a lot of very, very talented managers that are very, very diverse. And I think Thomas Frank could do a job for a Big Six club. He'll keep them in the league, no question. Fulham in 11th. They're obviously a lot higher at the moment in and around the European positions. That will fall off. But Smith Rowe has been a revelation. He's been a revelation. Even Reece Nelson. They are fantastic. But Smith Rowe, for me, is looking so good that I actually think he'll get a move back to a big club in the summer. Because he'll be an England international. 24, 25 years old. He's two-footed. He's scoring goals. He links up play. He is unbelievable. I think you could put him in team of the season right now. I think you could. He's that good. I think they'll fall off a little bit. I mean, it's Fulham. What are they going to do? Come top four? But they're very... I mean, Marco Silva, again, it's a bit like Kieran McKenna. It's a bit like all these guys. There's so many talented managers in the league. Marco Silva's got a very, very high ceiling, in my opinion. Forest in 10th. They're doing very well at the moment. If they beat City, I'm going to have a heart attack. But they will fall off eventually. I think the crest of the wave that they're riding is so high that I think that their drop-off being mid-tables is some minor miracle. I thought they were going to get relegated, and they've shown so much quality. They don't concede goals. That Aina right-back's been electric. The centre-backs have been fantastic as well. All of them. Gibbs White every season. Callum Hudson-Odoi, what a deal that is. £3 million. They'll be fine. They'll be 10th. Brighton in 9th. Hertz has been a revelation. Let's be completely real. Rutter up front. Danny Welbeck. João Pedro. These guys ooze sauce on the South Coast. They really do. I just think money talks, and eventually Man United won't finish below Brighton. If they do, it's an absolute travesty of the highest order. But I think Brighton will be more than enough to come 9th. They've got to be looking to try and win the FA Cup, in my opinion. Can they go and win and have some success like Portsmouth have had down the years in that competition? Like Wigan, Swansea in the League Cup. That's what I think Brighton need to look at. Man United in 8th. Why not? They've sacked their manager, so they've failed already this season. The side last season, the spine of the side, which is basically the same except for De Ligt and Mazraoui and Xerxes, who's got negative pace. It's the same side, and they came 8th last season and embarrassed themselves. Why have they finished higher? Why does any Man United fan expect better than what they've shown so far? A side that is spineless, a side that stopped running, in my opinion, and Amram's come in with a dodgy back five and going to try and grind out results. Fine. They're going to come 8th. Maybe next season they improve. They spend more money. Who knows? Spurs above them in 7th. There's a world they could finish higher, Spurs. I know it's a bit of a cop-out, but their inconsistency as I'm recording this video, I mean, it's a win, it's a loss, it's a win, it's a loss. They were so good against Villa. They were electric. Then they lose to Ipswich, who haven't won a game all season. Then they'll go and smash Man City up. That's just what's going to happen. It's the way the world works. I think Spurs in 7th. 6th, Newcastle United, Eddie Howe. I know it's crazy putting them this high for a lot of people, but I just think they've got a lot of quality players throughout the side. You look at Bruno, you look at Isaac. I just think they're always going to come good. They're always going to give you results. It's fallen off a little bit. They're not going to get back into the Champions League with their current squad. They're just not. But I think they can really push and come 6th, in my honest opinion. I've taken Aston Villa out of my top 4. My initial video I did in August, it would have been Villa in 4th because I thought Chelsea were going to flounder and be average and mediocre like they have been for the last few years. But Chelsea have been electric and Villa look a little bit flat. A lot of losses in a row. Even the draw to Bournemouth a few weeks ago was really poor. The Champions League will take up a lot of their time because it's adrenaline, it's cinematic, it's the experience of the fans, which will be amazing for them. If they fall out of that, if they lose early in the competition, the knockout stages, they'll refocus on the Premier League. But I think 5th is it could actually be generous, but I just back Unai Emery massively. In 4th, I have to look at Chelsea in 4th. If they finish higher, I think it'd be a miracle. It would actually be an underrated achievement for Enzo Maresca, who's never managed a game in this league. Came out of the Championship with a bit of a mixed record. Started so well with Leicester City, and then it fell off a little bit, and they knew they didn't get promoted out of the automatics, which is crazy. He's got in there. They play a beautiful brand of football. They're all playing for him. They're all running. They believe they can go anywhere and beat anyone. And that is down to the manager, because last season that wasn't the case. Well, at points it was with Pochettino. But Enzo Maresca thinks that he can beat anyone at any point. He thinks he can outmanage people. I think they're fantastic. I really do. I think Neto's been great. Caicedo's been DM of the season alongside Ryan Gravenberch, in my opinion. And they're hard to beat, Chelsea. They're going to cause a lot of issues for sides, particularly the sides that are looking to win the Premier League title. They'll take points off City, and Arsenal already have, of course, and Liverpool potentially as well in the business end of the season. Arsenal in third. If they finish above Liverpool City, I think it would be a minor miracle, and they would be going on to win the Premier League, in my opinion. I just don't see how they can do it. They seem a little bit flat at points. When anything goes wrong, and things will go wrong, there'll be snow coming, it's winter, people get injured, people will be slipping all over the place, there are lots of football matches. Anytime something goes wrong, Arsenal feel like their fuse is so short, they're ready to capitulate in a big, big way. I like what they've done for the last couple of years. At the moment, how do I see them coming above Liverpool? Seriously. And maybe they do and they come second. But then you're talking Liverpool and Man City, which they failed to do in the last couple of seasons. Maybe I'm completely gassing, but got injuries as well. And their suspension record is so bad. I mean, they could always get sent off. Players get sent off, miss games. I think they're going to come third. I think it's generous. Man City to come second at the moment. What can I do? I think City got more than enough quality to win the Premier League. More than enough quality to go unbeaten from now to the end of the season. But I'm not seeing it. I'm recording this video. City lost 4 in a row. I know Guardiola is going to give a little bounce. I did a reaction video about the Guardiola contract. I think there'll be a bounce. Of course there will. But at the moment, I can't see form from any of the centre-backs. I don't see form from Ederson. I don't see form from Kovacic. There's form from Haaland. I'm not going to sit here and slag off Erling Haaland. 12 goals in 11 games. It's outrageous yet again. Savinho's got great form. And the likes of Foden, Bernardo Silva, Gundogan, De Bruyne can all find form. It's not a debate. But right now, none of them have got form. You're asking City to go and beat Liverpool at Anfield, beat Spurs, Nottingham Forest as well. Any draw in that situation is taking Liverpool to 7, 9, 10 points clear of City. That's just an issue. There is an issue. So we have to finish the video on who will win the Premier League. At the moment, these are my final predictions. I think Liverpool will do it. They've got 3 things that City don't have. Firstly, they've got the points. If the table ended today, Liverpool would win the Premier League title race. Enough points as a cushion. They've got the second thing, which is momentum. They've got an unbelievable form. Even in the Champions League, they're just going game after game. We can debate the merits of it in a longer term spectrum. Will Arne Slot win a Champions League, multiple FA Cups? We can debate that with the side that Liverpool have got. But right now, as a form side with players in their prime for 1 year, 18 months, Liverpool have got 4 or 5 world-class players right now. They're all operating at world-class form. They're hard to play against. You don't get the ball off them as easy as it used to be against Jurgen Klopp. Jurgen Klopp used to dominate you and bully you. But Liverpool keep the ball far better than they used to. They got the best player in the world on form in Mohamed Salah. City don't have these answers at the moment. These are the facts. Points, momentum, and world-class players on form. That's why Liverpool at the moment have to be at the top of my table. I'm not going to do any more predictions. This is just the way it goes. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and let me know your thoughts. And I'll see you very, very soon.